My phone is blowing up, so if you right there in the camera start vibrating or whatever, then I apologize for that. But my friends, just 5 minutes ago, Elliot Friedman dropped himself a bomb because he said that Quinn Hughes is being traded to the Minnesota Wild. It's done. That's it. It is the end of an era for the Vancouver Canucks, the Quinn Hughes 43 era. The guy was named captain by the Vancouver Canucks on September 11th. Was it 2023? Something like that. It was shortly after Bo Horvat got dealt. Quinn wasn't here for a very long time as the face of the franchise, but he was damn good in that role. And now, courtesy of Friedman, courtesy of Darren Dreger, seems like the deal is done. Seems like Vancouver is indeed getting rid of Quinn. No retention in the trade. Minnesota has made a blockbuster deal. These are the details, courtesy of Darren Dreger. Now, this is from 3 minutes ago. There could be some extra info that comes out a little bit later. It's possible, but for now, this is what we know. The Vancouver Canucks have traded Quinn Hughes to the Minnesota Wild for Minnesota's first-round pick in 2026, Marco Rossi, Liam Ohgren, and Zeev Buium. And you know what? That's pretty good. Like, oh my goodness, we were just saying the entire time, they gotta get younger. Don't trade Quinn Hughes for Nico Hischier 1-for-1. Don't trade him for Ryan O'Reilly. Don't trade him for guys that are in the second half of their 20s to try to piece together and stitch together a Canucks team that's last in the NHL and to try to put them back into contention status. Don't do that. Trade Quinn for future pieces. Young guys that will help out the team in the long term. And that's exactly what they did here. All of these assets are young, first-round caliber assets. 2026 draft pick, first-round pick. Marco Rossi was top 10 in 2020. Liam Ohgren, also first-round caliber guy in 2022. And then you have Zeev Buium, who is one of the best rookies in the NHL rookie class this year. My friends, Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin have gone full future with this deal. And I'm just sitting here wondering, okay, at what point do the Vancouver Canucks decide, we actually want to be competitive, so let's trade that Minnesota first for O'Reilly or something. Let's get an aging guy to come onto the team in the same way that Vancouver got Marcus Pettersson after they traded JT Miller for a first. In the same way that Vancouver got Filip Hronek after trading Bo Horvat for a first. The Canucks have done these interesting piece-by-piece transactions where there's a big amount of stuff coming over, and then they compartmentalize those assets into other things. They traded Bo for Beauvillier, Ratu, and a first. Okay, then they traded Beauvillier for a draft pick, and then they traded the first for Hronek, and they kept Ratu. Same thing for the Marcus Pettersson deal. Vancouver traded Miller for Chytil, and then the first-round pick, and then they got Mancini, which is actually great. They kept Mancini, they kept Chytil, and then they traded the first from that trade for Marcus Pettersson and Drew O'Connor. I question whether or not the Vancouver Canucks will do something similar with this first-round pick from Minnesota. But it's been very well documented that the Canucks like Marco Rossi. And this is a guy who is coming over to the team as a center, as a top six guy. He could even be a first line guy. The only problem is I think he's on the IR right now. Is that true? Oh no. Is he actually playing again? Oh no. Yeah, no, he hasn't played a game in a month. So he's not playing right now, not available for the Vancouver Canucks. But Marco Rossi last year had 60 points in 82 games played. He was forced to play first-line center because of the injury situation in Minnesota. This year, he is at 13 points in 17 games played, so just under a point per game over there. And Rossi is making $5 million a year till the end of 2028. This contract situation was a really big deal back in the summer because it was very apparent that Minnesota didn't really like him all too much, even though they were forced to use him as a first-line center, and even though he actually did play pretty well. He's only 5'9", which is the issue that Minnesota seemed to have had with him, which is like, why'd you draft the guy in the first place if you were always going to see that as an issue? But anyways, Marco Rossi is a guy whom I've been super high on ever since the 2020 draft when he was taken. He is a very smart, very skilled, playmaking young center. He was the most productive CHL player back in 2020 with 120 points in 56 games. That was his draft-eligible campaign. He outscored Alexis Lafreniere that season, which is always going to blow my mind. And he is not even the only young asset coming over to Vancouver. Take a look at the other names. Liam Ohgren, 21 years old, a 6'1", 187-pound left-wing player from Sweden, 19th overall guy. He's a leader, a sniper, a two-way forward, and alongside of a Jonathan Lekkerimäki, there can be some really good Swedish chemistry going on with this team. Let's go out there and read the scouting report. Everything happens in motion for Liam Ohgren. He gets moving as pucks arrive at his position, skates through his passes, and doesn't need to break stride to get off his shot. He plays at such a heightened pace that the puck often flies from his stick no sooner than you realize he's even secured possession in the first place. The Elite Prospects Scouting Guide goes out there and labels Ohgren as a JT Miller, Timo Meier-esque player, which I'd say is a pretty good package to receive in exchange for this Quinn Hughes. This player alongside of Rossi, alongside of Buuim, whom we didn't talk about yet, and then the first-round pick. Let's just go back over to Ohgren for a second. So this year he's got 0 points in 18 Minnesota Wild games, but last year he had 5 points in 24 games. Still very young, still quite productive in the AHL, so there is some progression that Ohgren is going to need to go through. 21 years old, of course, there's still development there, but the package, what this guy can be, a power winger with some sniping ability. If you think Timo Meier, you think JT Miller, you're probably very happy with this being one of the extra pieces added on in the trade. And then you have Zeev Buium, a guy who is making waves for Minnesota as a first-year player. 12th overall pick 2 seasons ago in the 2024 NHL Draft, 6 feet 185, a left-handed D-man. He was way over a point per game for the Denver Pioneers last season in the NCAA, scoring 48 points in 41 games played. Not to mention 6 points in 7 World Junior games and 4 points in 8 World Championship games. He was a stud. And this year, he's got 14 points in 31 games with the Minnesota Wild as a rookie. That's not bad. You know, it's not the best in the world. It's not Matthew Schaefer-esque, but hey, the guy is playing his first NHL year. He is only 20, so there is a lot of time for Zeev Buium to inevitably become great. Just go over here and try to compare the guy to Quinn Hughes. Can we do that? Where's the comparison tool? Let's go to compare players. We will compare Zeev Buium to Quinn Hughes and just take a look at the progression that each of these guys had been able to go through as their NHL careers had started and gone. No, I don't want to do Quinn O'Brien. Let's do Quinn Hughes. So Buium versus Hughes right now. Buium is in his 20-year-old season. And look, when Quinn Hughes was in his 20-year-old season, he had scored himself 53 points in 68 Vancouver Canucks games. So obviously Quinn was a better rookie in the National Hockey League. But if you take a look at the 19-year-old year, Quinn Hughes was just barely over a point per game for the Wolverines. Zeev Buium was a little bit more than that for the Pioneers in Denver. So you can say that point production-wise, strictly, Vancouver has the chance to get a guy that can be in a similar territory as Quinn Hughes in Zeev Buium. This guy was super highly touted. He was always going to be one of the top rookies this year. Maybe the production hasn't been there yet, but hey, he's in his first year. Who cares? Add on Marco Rossi, add on Liam Ohgren, add on a first-round pick, and you have, honestly, a banger trade package for Quinn Hughes. And I'm super shocked that Vancouver was able to get this done this quickly. Okay, Frank Saravelli tweeted out the details. It seems like it is just these assets here. A first, Rossi, Buuim, Ohgren. It's a lot for Quinn Hughes. And I think for now, we just have to wait a little bit, just let the trade breathe, come to terms with the fact that he is gone. Quinn, it wasn't a long time, but it was a good time. And you can't blame Quinn one bit from the way that everything went down the past 2 seasons pretty much for the Vancouver Canucks. Ultimately, this will be a big thank you to Quinn Hughes. And man, yesterday was the guy's last game as Vancouver Canucks captain. As a Vancouver Canuck, that was crazy. They lost to Buffalo. Ay. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Vancouver trading Quinn Hughes to Minnesota. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on. And bye.